Welcome back to Cheche, the program where opinion counts, live on Citizen TV. The political opposition seems to be in disarray with scheming over the position of the leader of the minority in parliament. Francis Nyenze from Wiper Democratic Party holds a position, but his deputy, Jakayo Midiwo from ODM, is alleged to be undermining him. And you, of course, have told us that you have no evidence of that and you don't believe that's going on. But Mutegi, you were making the point during the break.
No, I was saying that
yes.
Mheshimiwa here seems to be very skillful when he's talking to us. If you remember the day that the appointment committee started scrutinizing the cabinet secretaries, called and said they will not attend any of those meetings. You are boycotting because you are not getting, you got the chairmanship of the PAC and PAC, but not the majority. You wanted to have the majority. But the day that the interviews came, Midi was there. He's one deputy.
Thank you, Mutegi. I don't think Midiwo is undermining me. We get along well. But on that day when we had a PG in an hotel in Nairobi, we agreed that we will not attend any committees until we get the majority and the chairs of PIC and PAC. But we realized that if we don't, we did attend, especially the appointment committees, they'll appoint anybody and work will go on. So we said there were some very critical committees, especially the selection and appointments, that we should not fail to attend. Otherwise, work will go on, and it's like you'll have given them a blank check to get whoever they wanted.
Is there any variance between the ODM and Wiper legislative agendas? Because it just seems as if you're not singing from the same hymn sheet.
We are singing from the same hymn book. There is no difference, and there are no differences between Wiper and ODM or Ford Kenya. We all sing from the same hymn book. And if there arises any problem, we sort them. But there are no problems at the moment.
I want to get your opinion first, David, before you answer the question. What do you think of the Honorable MP? Because, of course, we're all in the media. We've seen the reports, and he's adamant that there are no intrigues, that his position, though reported to be tenuous, is quite safe.
I think that Honorable Nyenze is being diplomatic about it. The fact is that there is discontent simmering about the functioning of the minority within the House, or generally its leadership. Even on the floor, there have been, very verbal expressions of the leadership of the minority by the majority. Well, that could be parliamentary banter. You guys know how to tread in the House. But there has been a bit of aspersions cast on the leadership of the minority within the House. In fact, I remember one of the members, I can't remember, is one of the new members, said that the minority leadership in the House is taking instructions from outside. That claim, perhaps I would like to hear what the Honorable Leader of the minority says, because they said they were taking instructions from, I think, the party leader, let's be frank, who was in London, that he told them, don't go to those committees, go now, don't go. And then here he comes and says that members are operating as independent, intelligent people, yet they're being pulled and manipulated remotely, which is that in the nature of working, of political coalitions, or is there anything unusual there?
Bwana Makali, there is nothing unusual, and our party, called party, is never manipulated by people outside Parliament. We do consult a lot, and each party in its structure of leadership has its own way of running their affairs. Right. If anybody cheats you that Raila Odinga is not the court's leader, and Kalonzo and Moses Wetangula, they are cheating you. Whatever we do, we may not necessarily consult them on a daily basis, but they have a bearing on the direction this party takes. and let nobody cheat you that the party chiefs have no role to play. So, as I said earlier, we always consult. We consult with the membership, we also consult with the party chiefs, so that we take a common position and a position of strength. So if that is seen as weakness, I believe that is our strength. So we don't get instructions. But you see, sometimes members from the other side, the Jubilee, like one member said, okay, a phone call was made by an old man from London. That time the Prime Minister was in London. But right. This was he made a statement in bad faith. And I did rise up and told him, you have to respect our leaders the way we respect your leaders. So we do consultations, and I will not hide it from you. Yes. We consult our leaders, we also consult our members, and we move together, and that way there is no infighting.
But is it untenable, though, to have to be consulting with leaders who are outside of the legislature? How long can that situation continue? Because, of course, given the new constitution, at some point they'll become irrelevant.
No. Let's say, don't be cheated that the party leaders will become irrelevant. It will never happen. But we don't consult on a daily basis. We have latitude, we have freedom to move, and we make our decisions. We call our kamkunjis and address issues as they arise. But on very big party issues, there is no way we can fail to consult our leaders.
Let's look at the leadership and the effectiveness of it, of the minority in the House. In the issue that we spoke about, the vetting of the cabinet secretaries, you said that the committee made a recommendation rejecting one of the nominees. On the House, thanks to the tyranny of numbers, the report was overturned, amendments made, and the nominee approved and appointed. We're coming to, first of all, that just shows that really there is going to be a problem. I mean, you have a big challenge in terms of holding a ground of oversight, because that must be seen to have been a government and a Jubilee motion, of course, initiative. Another one is coming, the cabinet secretary, rather the principal secretaries. People looking at how you fared in the cabinet secretaries vetting, and a lot of Kenyans were not happy because they said, basically it was a waste of time. The list came, there was a bit of interrogation. Members didn't have deep questions, or they had not been served with information to interrogate the nominees. And somebody said, our job is not to interview. Somebody said the appointments committee is not to interview, it is to vet.
Yeah. I want to make that
you are not thorough. Is there going to be a change when the principal secretaries come before you?
I think it was thorough. The fact that we never passed all those candidates, we vetted them and we found one or two fit to hold office. That speaks volumes. But as you said, it will be interesting to watch how events unfold in the House, in that Jubilee forms the government and it has also the majority in the House. It's good when members vote on issue-based, voting system, but not on the party instructions. And I'm seeing, like, as we go on, this will die out, and members, because these members who are elected now are more educated, they are more liberal, and I think they offer better leadership.
Okay, well, let's get Mutegi's opinion, because he's a veteran journalist, so you've seen many parliaments. What do you think? What's your opinion on this?
It doesn't matter how many they are or how educated they are. If you see, they passed that person, that cabinet secretary who was rejected by the committee. Not because she's good, just because of numbers. So I'm assuming that when they come to principal secretaries, even if, like somebody wrote in the newspaper, even if Kamlesh Patin was one of the principal secretaries, if Jubilee want him, they'll vote for him, regardless of what you think.
That's why I'm saying it's worrying, and Kenyans have a right to judge the MPs, because all events in the House are covered live on television, and I'm sure now that will make MPs think twice before they arrive at a decision. But let me also make a point. We had asked for ethics and anti-corruption report on the cabinet secretaries.
And even the principal secretaries.
And the principal secretaries. By the time we went for vetting, we did have that report.
Even this one.
And this one, I've seen ethics committee have said they were not consulted. So I think this one will be more competitive, and people will be on lookout, and they will reject those names unless all reports are
why should I believe that? If Jubilee, because of the terrain of numbers, want them, they'll have them.
Pass them.
That terrain of numbers is what also worries me, because now how will you be objective? But as I've said, because of the cameras in the house, each member will be held accountable by the constituents, by the Kenyans, if you don't make right decisions.
Not right.
In fact, what you're saying, Mheshimiwa.
Cameras, let me talk about cameras. Cameras mean nothing. Kenyans have been opposed to you wanting more salary. You have been vocal there talking how you must have them and how you are going to take away the salaries and remuneration commission. They don't care about cameras. They do not care, even if you are called pigs. You don't care.
Mutegi, I want us to get it right, because now this parliament and last parliament have been demonized by the Kenyan public. Yet these Kenyans are the ones who elect them. Let me tell you, members of parliament are not asking for salary increment. They know the state of the economy. They are only saying, just pay us the salary that was earmarked for MPs.
No, this is a different parliament, and the salaries of that time, they're not
and they were reduced, albeit a week before we went into the elections, and the Salaries and Remuneration Commission made it clear that the economy could not sustain the huge wage bill going to...
These were 210 people. Now you are 300 something.
Yes.
If I may ask you one simple question. Mutegi, Makali, and my friend here, you are paid more than MPs. Yet MPs control so big areas. Do you want your MPs to be paid peanuts?
How do they control?
Are you just calling your salaries peanuts on national television?
Let's say I'm saying, they are only saying, just don't reduce the salary, because the international labor laws do not allow for people's salaries to be reduced. You can only not increase it, or you stagnate it, but you cannot reduce it.
Let me ask you this.
And that's what the MPs are saying.
I used to work for Nation on a different contract. I left Nation, I came here on a different contract.
Yeah.
When I came here, I get less money. Because this is not Nation. This is raw media. The same thing, the 10th parliament is not 11th parliament.
You know, when the MPs were going for elections, the salaries were 850. But just a few days before the election, that is when they were sneaked in.
Then why don't they go?
Sir,
why don't they
with
resign?
respect to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, they were not sneaked in. It was gazetted. But also, they had said months ahead of the election that these salaries were being reviewed, and that they expected that the incoming legislature would be aware of that. The former president, Mwai Kibaki, also talked about it and urged that legislatures would accept the new pay structure. President Uhuru Kenyatta, in various speeches, has said that the wage bill is unsustainable. He, during the last parliament, refused to concede to the salary increment demands. How do you come and tell us, A, that you're earning peanuts, but B, you argue about salaries being reduced? Let's compare Kenya to other countries. You earn more than your counterparts in Europe. You earn more than your counterparts in the U.S. How do you justify that?
There are other benefits they earn, and other things they do for them that they do not do for us. And I want to blame the media for demonizing the MPs and trying to portray MPs as greedy.
There was no media house which came to place pigs at the gate of Parliament.
They are not
no
badly supported. They covered his life.
Yeah.
And,
but it
was not organized by media.
They try to portray MPs as greedy. You know, we've even noted
it was not a media event. It was civil society.
It was civil society to get supported by media. And I'm appealing to you, because we are not enemies. Try to put things straight. MPs are only saying, please, we know the economy. We want teachers' salaries to be improved. The soldiers, the armed forces, the doctors.
So why don't we start
so
with
forth.
that?
But
Why don't we start with that before we come to you?
what we are saying is, just don't reduce. Now, if you say
No,
a
hang
teacher's
on. Why
salary,
don't we start with the teachers, the police, the soldiers, and all of the others who need their salaries increased urgently before we come to you?
if I ask you, were any of those people's salaries decreased?
They cannot be decreased because they're already so low.
You know,
They are
what
so
I don't
low and
understand
you want it to be
from
increased.
Yes.
Honorable Nyenze is that this constitution came in with radical changes
Yeah.
to everybody's life.
Yeah.
People lost jobs. Judges were subjected to vetting, and they had appointments running careers.
Yeah.
Some lost, they went home, they were given retirement parks. Why is it that politicians cannot accept that a new constitutional dispensation came in which has impacted on them as well? That is one. Yeah. Two, as the Salaries and Remuneration Commission Chair Serem said last week live on TV, the Parliamentary Service Commission was a member and is a member of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission and was represented there. Peter Loaringo is a member of that committee. The Speaker was represented there. So why is it that the members cannot accept that they were represented and that the decision of the commission is actually legitimate?
You see now, if
Why?
Makali, you can understand, MPs are very good people because even you have elected an MP in
Yes.
your place. But once you get into parliament, you are demonized as greedy, as someone who wants.
I don't think you are responding to my
but
question.
Now to come, I was
Yes.
just preparing ground to come to your issue.
Yes.
You see now we are talking about salary reduction. Sarah Serem,
It's not reduced.
It's not
Set.
You have a new contract with a new
A salary has
parliament.
been set at that
who,
point.
who,
new
signed,
contract.
who signed that contract?
Because you voted on you are not in the
It's
10th
between
parliament.
you and voters.
You see now, what you don't understand is when we went to the election, we were not told this is the salary will be reduced. It was only reduced, the Gazette notice came just weeks before
Are you
the
saying
election.
if you knew that you would not have run? If you knew the salary
no,
was 510, you would not
no,
have,
what
you
we are
would not have
saying,
run for
what
parliament.
we are saying,
You-
Sarah
are you saying-
Serem committee
seriously?
broke the law.
No. Seriously, are you saying that if members of parliament knew the salary would be 500,000,
No.
this parliament will be empty?
No,
You will have no
no.
candidate.
People, even us, will come and serve. We are not serving because of money. We are
Of
only
course, that's-
saying
that's what it shows.
because law was broken. We are the legislators. We are the makers of law.
No,
We are the
unfortunately,
defenders of that
unfortunately,
law.
this law affects you. So the self-interest in it has completely clouded
Why
all
was
the other
the
issues.
judicial whatever salary is not touched? Why was parliamentary salaries targeted? Why not other people? Why only parliamentarians?
Let me say this, Mheshimiwa. What is your recourse if a law has been broken?
Let's say those who break the law should be punished. If you break the law,
By who?
you are punished.
By who?
By
court
the
process.
Court process, yeah.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
by parliament.
Not by parliament.
Yes.
But you have to know, Mutegi, that
We got you now.
parliament is a legislative assembly and is superior to those other people because we are the ones who make
But
laws,
unfortunately, you're making laws for yourselves.
not
That's
for
all.
ourselves.
Yes,
You
you
see
are.
now,
Matter.
you see
For
what
yourself.
I don't understand,
Yes.
and I wish I knew this before.
Yes.
When you demonize parliament, I don't understand. You know, they are only asking for what was rightly theirs. They are not asking for any increment.
You never earned it.
What was
so
there?
it can be yours.
What was there is 500.
Anyway, let's
also,
assume that.
but
that,
also, Mr. Nyenze,
It's a new
surely
contract.
Parliament, yes, it's a new
a new
contract,
contract.
but surely you could have gotten in, done some work, 6 months, 9 months, and then come back to us and said, look, we can't work on this salary. But you come in and your first business is your salaries. Never mind that we've got teachers, doctors, lecturers, all of whom have been on strike last year, who have been waiting for their increments to be delivered. And yet here you are handsomely rewarded, which you refer to as peanuts. Teachers would kill to earn those salaries, and yet they are in charge of nurturing the minds of young Kenyans who will lead the country. And here you are, sitting in the legislature with your allowances. You go to a meeting, you get an allowance. With your car grants, which you've now demanded, with some various other perks and benefits, which, say for instance, the police who lay down their lives for us don't get.
I always understand that, and I always fight for the police, for the armed
So why don't
forces,
you start
for the teachers and for doctors.
Why
and
don't you
everybody.
start with fighting for them to get their
Before you come to
increments
yours.
before you come to yours?
In fact, when we just opened Parliament, that was my first motion, and it was supported by members. They want teachers to be paid well. They want all these staffs who are poorly paid, including media people, to be paid well. But they are only saying, as we fight for this, because we fight for your rights, tell Sarah Saram not to reduce our salary, because she has the...
So why don't you start? Why don't you start with fighting for our rights?
You're using the
Let
wrong
us
word.
see.
There's no salary which has been
Let us
reduced.
see. No,
Can
no,
I
hang
put
on.
it to
Yeah.
Honorable Nyenze that this campaign will fail because Kenyans will not accept it, and because you're using a shortcut. I'm
Which
sure that
shortcut?
the court trying to because the Sarah Sarem Commission is given the mandate to set salaries and remuneration for all public
But they are arguing the
State
Parliamentary
officers.
Service Commission is the one that
state
determines the salary.
officers. And clearly, members of parliament are state officers. So if you want to change, you say she acted, she broke the law, you might be compelled to go for a constitutional amendment to exclude parliament or legislators from the provisions of the Salaries and Remuneration Act,
You know,
which is what you should be
you know-
doing
you know
rather
what-
than...
Go to court.
You know,
Yes.
Makali, what you don't know?
Yes.
The public out there, and I don't want to be like Antoinette, the woman who was saying...
Marie Antoinette.
Give them bread.
Yes.
Give them cake.
I want to be aware that I'm speaking for the Kenyans.
Okay. We're going on a break, but let me just read this comment to you. Honorable Nyenze, I was enjoying your discussion until you said you were earning peanuts. How many hardworking, learned, and persons of integrity earn the amount you are calling peanuts? The day you'll be out in the cold, you will appreciate that money. Let's be sensible to other Kenyans. And that came from John in Nairobi. And so we'll chew on that while we go on a break. This is Cheche, the program where opinion counts, live